All right, so one of the things that you all have requested to be able to do is to get an individual list of students and be able to see their scores for different assessments. For example, if you've recently taken benchmarks, several of you have asked, how do I see all students in a grade level individually and then have their benchmark scores for perhaps like reading, math, and science? So we're going to walk through that right now. This is something that you can complete with any assessments. It's a matter of being able to go in and edit a quick view to get the information that you want. This can only be completed if you have principal role and aware, so teachers will not be able to do this, but teachers can request this information from anyone with that principal role. All right, so I'm going to be using the demo site for Eduphoria Aware in order to make sure that I am not releasing any sensitive information. So the assessment that I'm going to use is pretend data, but you can complete this with your actual real student data. So once I'm in Aware, I'm going to make sure that I'm here under the Analyze tab. We're going to go to Quick Views. I'm going to use a STAR test as my example just because I'm in the demo site, but if you'd like to use benchmarks or common assessments, that will work also. I'm going to click on STAR test, find my assessment by year, the grade. Okay. Now I want to make sure that I am under individual students because that's what we want, is we want to see individual student scores by assessment. So we're going to click on individual students. All right, so I have my students listed here, and then because I drilled down to their math star scores, I'm seeing their math performance listed here. So now I'm going to go in behind the scenes of this quick view. So I'm going to click edit. What I want is I not only want math, but I want to find maybe reading and another subject as well. So I'm going to go back into here under tables. I'm going to go back into the STAR test folder, the same year I was in before. If you're doing this with benchmarks, you would go into the benchmark folder, same grade level. And this time I'm just going to drag the reading over, and this one also has writing, so I'm going to drag the writing over. And I want you to see what this looks like before I clean any of it up. So I'm going to click update. And when I do that, I have my students here. And then if I move the toolbar over, you're going to see that I have their performance for math, reading, and writing. Okay? And you certainly could save this, print this just like it is. You could export this to Excel and work with it from there. But sometimes this extra information here is not always necessary, the demographic information, or perhaps you don't need skill score and those types of things. So you can actually edit this some more. And this time, when I go to the columns tab, for this particular assessment, knowing the scale score is not necessarily something I want. And then if I click on the Summarize tab, their ethnicity, I'm just dragging and dropping. And their gender, LEP, EcoDis. You know what, I think I'm just gonna clear this out completely, which I could have just clicked clear here at the bottom. And there could be other demographic information that's important for your campus to know if you're monitoring different groups. Like you may have wanted the special ed indicator to stay there. You may want gifted and talented to be there. So you can, on the Summarize tab, you can put whatever information is pertinent to your campus needs. But now when I click update, okay, so now I get student name, and then I can see here their math, their reading, and their writing at a quick glance. And I'm just going to show you that when I send this to PDF, of course it's going to be a little slow right now, but I'm going to get a nice report that will be real easy for me to be able to see student by student. go. So now I can see at a quick glance individual students' performance. I can look for trends on assessment to assessment, consistencies, things that are discrepancies. And then if I go back to Aware, you can actually manipulate this data as well. So for example, right now it's sorted by student name alphabetically. If I were curious to sort maybe by their raw score in mathematics, if I click that raw score, now I have my students, well, I have my students first of all without any data, but then if I scroll down, you're going to see that I've got my lowest performing students, and then it's going to sort to my highest performing by math. So this would be interesting to compare across assessments and see if that trend is the same for their other content areas. Lots of things you can do with this data. The most important thing is that you do what your needs are by using this edit tool to access some different information. If you need anything, please reach out. We are always happy to help. Thanks.